Aquí seguimos en la noche de Borradores y les vamos a invitar a ver una cosa que según su autor, Brian Eno, costaría, creo que eran algo así como 300 años, no tendríamos vida suficiente. Pero Brian Eno nos ha ofrecido una selección de 77 millones de imágenes o de cuadros en el Centro de Historia dentro de la programación de En la Frontera y nos explicó cómo este músico, este hombre que ha trabajado en tantas cosas, que ha grabado tantos discos, de repente se ha quedado fascinado con la literatura, perdón, con la fotografía, y este es el mundo que propone Brian Eno, y además Brian Eno también un gran actor. Véanlo.
The earliest real influence on me, and I think it has a very direct connection with this work, was when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. My uncle hired a tiny little projector, an 8mm film projector, but he projected it onto the wall about that far away, so there was a little tiny image on the wall, and we were sitting around, and I was absolutely totally fascinated by this, the strength of the color of this. I'd never seen color so bright. I couldn't remember the story at all. I didn't know what the film was about, but just seeing color as bright as that was very powerful for me. Musically, because I grew up in a tiny little town in the east of England, which was surrounded by huge air bases. So we had 17,000 American Air Force people around a town of 4,000 English people. And the town was full of little coffee bars, cafes where they would play only American pop music. So my early musical experience was fairly different from most of the other kids. The idea of generative art is that instead of the artist making a finished work, which is what you normally expect, he instead invents some kind of a system for creating work, for creating works continuously. So this piece is an example of that, where I, as the artist, can't predict exactly what's going to happen next. There will be very many things that will happen in this piece that I shall never see. Some things I may even see twice, but it's not likely. I haven't seen anything twice yet. These are all images that I made myself. A few of them are photographic, but most of them are hand-drawn. And they're drawn at a very small scale, because originally I was making slides for slide projectors. So I would draw with a tiny etching tool, a pointed tool, and I would scratch the images basically. And sometimes I would paint with a tiny brush. I started making those about 20 years ago. And every exhibition I would throw away the slides that hadn't worked very well, and I would make some new ones. The reason I like watching these things is because they change my consciousness in an interesting way. So they make me sit still, and they put me into a kind of attentive but quiet state of mind. That, I think, is a very interesting mental condition to be in, because we live in a world where everything is constantly telling us, take control, take control. And this is saying, let go of control. But you know, I don't really have a routine. Sometimes I get a routine for a few weeks, and those are very happy times in my life. But mostly I don't have a routine. So mostly I have to think every day, what shall I do today? I really don't spend very much time thinking about things I've done in the past. I don't often listen to my old records or records I've made with other people. It's history. I suppose I'm proud of it, and I'm very happy to have worked with some really wonderful people. But I honestly don't think about it very much. If young American children start going home to their parents and saying, I like Arabic music, that's a revolution as well. That's really a new thought. I hope their parents will hate it. They should do, because it sort of contradicts a position that has been taken before. I think it will happen. I've played a few concerts with Rashid Taha, the Algerian singer. Those are the best concerts I've ever played. It's sheer excitement. And to see a European audience suddenly grabbed by this Arabic feeling is very futuristic. That is where the future is, I think.
Ahí lo han visto, la fuerza de los colores de Brian Eno, pero también, sobre todo, una autobiografía de artista dicho con esta cadencia, con esta tranquilidad, con este sosiego y, sobre todo, también esta forma de desnudarse ante la cámara, con este sentido de actor tan inglés, tan british, pero a la vez tan sobrio.